asking you what you did for your undergrad, any advice for undergrads. He basically just wants to hear like how your undergrad is helping you now, and if the answer is it's not,
that's an answer.
News to me.
No,
not really great news for me actually.
I can give you guys more usable information. So, what is the answer to this question? And so, I went to the University of Texas, right? Where you guys go?
Yeah.
I was a zoology major, and I don't use anything I learned in medical school now. So there you go. Isn't that fascinating? And it's true, because depending upon what specialty of medicine you go into, like I'm a surgeon, so I had to then go to 5 years after medical school to learn how to be a surgeon, which the kind of funny way to look at it is it knocked all the medical school stuff out of my head because I had to learn a whole new job, right? So you do 8 weeks of surgery when you're a third year medical student. And so let me think, how to going backwards, you do 8 weeks of each of the disciplines in third year of medical school, and you kind of figure out what you want to do. And I decided after that I wanted to be a surgeon. So I learned some stuff in doctor school that allowed me to make a decision about what I wanted to do, which was go into surgery, which is what I was not going to do at all. And then what did undergraduate do, working backwards? None of the information is very usable at all. I use no information. I don't know what it did for me. I don't ask me questions.
My instinct would be like you're not remembering content from your classes, but it's more like, did it like teach you like, I guess like
problem solving skills?
Right. I knew that's what you were driving at. You're right. No content. I remember something from a medical sociology class, content-wise. So, all the cliches to teach me how to work toward a goal and work very hard and time management. And I worked part-time when I was in college. So you had to learn time management. So, all that cliche stuff. And then I actually, at a point, are you guys want to go to medical school at all? Or no,
I want to go on like the industry side, business side of it.
Okay. Of biomedical stuff.
Yeah.
And you guys?
I kind of want to go down the more like electrical engineering side.
And I think I want to be a professor.
But there are a lot of people who are pre-med.
Right. No, I get it. But so this is a lot of intellectual firepower I got sitting. Yes. Wow. Amazing. So where I went is nowhere where you guys are going to go. So this is a totally foreign thing. So, biology as an undergraduate, sky's the limit. You can be a doctor. One of my neighbors builds buildings. He's a biology major from the University of Georgia. He's now a project manager for White Construction, who builds science buildings, nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and so that's what he did with his biology. And he definitely does not use any content, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't use anything he learned in college on his job. So the moral of the story is, what is college for? I know. The answer is we don't know. I think that's a great answer, is after thinking about people that got biology undergraduate degrees and how diverse those people ended up being. Look, you guys are going to be doing something totally different from what I did. But I was zoology. I wasn't really biology.
What made you choose zoology?
Interestingly, at the time, the content was more interesting than biology. And it sort of distinguished me a little bit from the other 1,000 biology majors that were applying for doctor school. But the professors were just more interesting people at the time, professors. And at the time, zoology was under, the degree was in zoology, but the description of the vertebrate physiology is what it really was. But the degree was zoology. So there's my life in the short run.
Love to hear that. I guess, like, is there anything that you, like, wish you had done in your undergrad, or, like, advice you'd give, like, in your, like, time managing things and making decisions to eventually go get a medical degree, or anything looking back that you wish you did?
Yeah, I wish I'd been a computer science major. Self-explanatory. This is 1986. Yeah, I wish I had done computer science, something totally different. But at the time, you're treading water. You know, you just think, I've got medical school prerequisites, and I have to get a degree. What's the easiest way to do that? So that's maybe some valid information. Is a lot of people get a biology degree in what's the word I'm looking for? By default.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's biology is probably the degree that gets gotten mostly by default than anything else. Mm-hmm. Because it's people trying to go into biomedical engineering or medicine, dental school, veterinary school, that kind of thing. Default degree, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate.
I'll give them some usable information.
What I'm hearing is I'm very comforting about how I'm freaking out about I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be great.
But you know what the good news is? Actually, the good news is if I learned nothing, this is the lesson, is that it kind of doesn't matter what your undergraduate degree is. Actually, it matters that you build a resume, that you make good grades, that no matter what you're doing, and if there is an entrance exam like the LSAT or the MCAT or the GMAT or whatever, that you do well on that. And it doesn't really matter what your undergraduate degree is. Hannah, who you met, her dad and I went to both UT, we were roommates at UT, and went to medical school together. He was a journalism major. And he's a doctor now. He's an anesthesiologist in Arizona.
Wow.
So the moral story is it doesn't matter what degree you get, what undergraduate degree is, as long as you become a good human being, build a good resume, you're not a jerk, and as if on cue. Who's calling? Oh, sorry. Sorry. So that's a good tagline. Doesn't matter what you do, just do well at it. Don't be a jerk. Make friends of your professors. So there's what your biology degree is for you. And aside, the two most rewarding things that happened to me as a physician was you have to get 3 letters of recommendation from your undergraduate professors to go to your medical school as part of your application. And so I got an art teacher, my sociology professor, sociology professor, medical sociology professor, and my vertebrate anatomy professor. And I've operated on 2 of those guys.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is that nuts? I just walked in and went, remember me? And the cool thing is they got me into medical school,
right?
Not having any idea what was going to happen to either one of us. And I ended up came around and I ended up taking care of both of them. So that was very rewarding. That was kind of a cool thing. So, but I also office, a quarter mile from where I went to college.
Since the content of your undergraduate degree didn't really matter as much, is there what outside of the classroom kind of influenced your path, or was a meaningful experience for you? What did you do extracurricularly during your undergraduate degree?
Part-time work, I think. Something to put on the resume. I was a dialysis technician. So I stocked shelves at the grocery store at night, and I worked as a dialysis technician 20 hours a week. And that was, if nothing else, it gives you you learn how to time manage, you learn how to pay bills, you learn what the real world's like. You go back to the 40 acres and you get to exist as a student, but then you have to go out in the world and exist as a working person, paying taxes and paying bills. And so that, of all things, that was the most probably useful. Plus, I have work experience. I have a real resume. I worked here, here, and here. So that was very helpful. And if in nothing else, I would say going forward, I'm trying to get Ryan to make sure he gets a job because he needs one. But if getting a job, I would say that getting to the next level, if you show that you work, that's going to be huge, whatever that's worth. So yeah, that was it.
And then like your whole time as an undergrad, were you like confident that you wanted to go to med school and like you didn't like ever like whether stray from the path or not like
No.
stray from the path, but like think the going was getting too tough or like am I making
No.
the right choices?
No, another good life lesson. No, never. The goal was to get into medical school, period. No negotiating. My then undergraduate advisor, I tried to play football for a little while, and it didn't really work out, and it took a lot of my time. And I did badly my freshman year, or was it my sophomore year? I did badly one year. And she said, "You're wasting our time. You're clearly not serious about this. You're a knucklehead. Why don't you do something else?" And, that made me angry. So I reprioritized things and did really well my junior and senior year for sure. Here I am. So the other lesson is if somebody's going to be there to tell you you can't do it, tell them to go sit on a rock. Yeah. So I was that guy they did tell, don't do this. You are never going to make it.
And that's what ensured you did.
And that's what almost ensured I did, yeah. I'm boring. You asked, and I went, I don't have a great story. It's just like, put your head down, work, accomplish tasks, do what they need you to do, make good grades, do what you're supposed to do, get to the next step. And you guys, is grad school in the plans?
Mm-hmm.
Probably everybody,
Maybe.
Yeah. So the best advice you'll get is bust your butt, make good grades, pad your resume, get to know people, get good letters of recommendation. When you go get good letters of recommendation, which you probably need for everything, go get to know the professor. Go to office hours once a week. Go, hey, what's happening? Let's talk about your class. Anything. Just some degree of familiarity so it doesn't look like I get that all the time. Here's my CV. I was your student. I have medical students.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll get a CV from 3 years ago. Hey, here's my CV and a personal statement. I was with you 3 years ago for a month. Writing a letter of resignation. Oh my God. I don't remember who this is. So get to know people. Use your words.
Were you involved in any organizations on campus at UT?
I was a wrangler.
Oh,
The
no way.
Texas Wrangler.
Mm-hmm.
I was a wrangler. And nothing else. They were cool back then.
They're still cool now.
Are they cool?
Yeah.
That's good.
And then you're a general surgeon now, right?
General surgeon. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you specialize in anything within that, or?
Yeah, probably. I think everybody kind of finds their niche, and it's not really that you put up a sign. It's just somehow the community decides what you are going to do and what you're going to kind of be good at. And in my case, I do breast cancer. It's a total diverse group of people. Breast cancer and hernias. It's odd. I will have in a waiting room. I will have a side with women and a side with men, and I'm sure they're looking at each other going, "What are you doing here?" And that's really kind of how it ended up. But the community oftentimes will just kind of decide what you're good at and what they're going to want you to do, and that kind of happened very organically. Like I didn't look for it, but I like both, and maybe that was it.
So what does your day-to-day life look like as a surgeon? Because I imagine that varies a lot.
Varies a lot. That's probably what it looks like. You wake up every morning and you do not know what's going to happen. And something happens every day, multiple times a day. So your day as it starts is never the day that it finishes. Hardly ever. Ranging from the benign and annoying to the life-threatening and DEFCON 5 panic. Like today, let me think. I kind of took care of everything that was kind of on the burning edge early today. So I'm thinking, maybe I got everybody kind of battened down. However, so sure enough, a colleague calls and says, I have a man who has a complicated hernia and I want to send him to you. And he is out there waiting for me to see him right now. And I didn't expect that. But he may need an operation today, depending on what his condition is. But I kind of looked at him and I thought, hey, okay. So I'll probably take care of him later. He was shocked.
It's very exciting.
You look at, whoa, relax.
It's so exciting. Like, wow, there's more than my OChem test tonight. There's a life outside of it.
I did not do well in organic chemistry.
That is really encouraging to hear.
No, I didn't do well. You mean the part where I'm going to be somebody's surgeon and didn't do well in organic chemistry, or the part that you think that somehow your barometer for organic chemistry is me? Do not say that.
No, it's
You're
more
way
like,
smarter than I am.
like, well, like, you're like successful, like, you're like doing your thing, you're doing what you want to do with your life,
Mm-hmm.
and OChem was hard for you too.
Yeah, it was. There's another life lesson for you. So I think I pretty much had a solid C something when I was a sophomore. Not looking real promising.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking, by all accounts, that particular human is never going to get into medical school. And I finished with a 3.5 overall, I think. And that's still, okay, great lesson. Finished with a 3.5. In undergraduate, I finished with a 3.8 in medical school.
Wow.
So you never know. Your undergraduate experience will have nothing to do with kind of what happens next, usually, I would say.
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. No, it's true. Absolutely true. You get into, well, in my case, doctor school. In your case, maybe grad school or whatever. It's different. You're different. You're older. You're smarter. My son, who's just turned 21 last week, is in fact the smartest human being on the planet. And when we're in the same room, I am the dumbest human being on the planet. And I say, I've got a pretty good life experience. Maybe I can help you with these decisions. No, Dad, you don't know. Okie dokie. Lesson number 5: your parents are really smart. Remember that, especially you. All right. What else?
How would you compare like the environment of your undergrad classes to classes in medical school?
Kindergarten to senior in high school.
Okay.
That is really good example. Took biochem. Took 18 hours my spring semester and played football. Sort of. Spring semester last year, because I wanted to take a bunch of classes to kind of get myself ready for medical school.
Mm-hmm.
One of those classes was biochemistry. I'm looking if I have the book. I bet the book's at home.
We all have to take that
Taking
next
that next
semester.
semester.
Is Stryer still? Do you know?
No.
LeBrake and
LeBrake and
Grabner.
Grabner.
The book was Stryer. Same book we used
Oh, I
undergraduate.
don't know about the book.
Oh,
That's not
no, the book is called Stryer, and you probably use that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I took biochemistry in senior year, a semester, and then got to medical school, took biochemistry, and the entire semester of biochemistry in medical school was covered in 2.5 days. So that's the difference. Kindergarten to senior in high school in one step, and that is a true story. So that's the difference. But as far as in my case, thank you. Should I leave the dog there? Yes. Sorry. So in my case, I was far less stressed out in medical school because I wasn't working part-time. I didn't have to get anywhere. And that's the other thing is undergraduate is full of stress. I can tell. Because you're thinking of the next step. All you're thinking is, I got to get, and that was me. All I thought is, I got to get there, I got to get here, I got to get. Everything is about getting into medical school. And I was very stressed out. I got to doctor school, and I was like, I'm here, I'm done. All I got to do is just enjoy this, learn stuff. And then again, ironically, I don't use or remember anything from medical school because then I had another 5 years of learning how to be a surgeon, which has nothing to do with what you learn in undergraduate medical school. But so medical school just very chill for me. I hated it a couple of times, but most of the time I was like, this is great.
So then would you say overall, your experience in college, we're asking why do we go to college, would you say it's more just to, it's more of like a life experience
cliche,
sort of
yeah,
thing than it is? Okay.
It's totally about giving you 4 years to grow up, integrate with people, interact with people, learn how to learn what's important. That is it. I like what you said. That is very, content means nothing. It is about, going from 18 to 22 is a big deal.
Yeah.
It gives you fellowship, it gives you community. It is a little false because it's a bubble.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's to this day, it's like very true. Gives you connections, to teach you what's important, keeps you out of trouble. You increase your decision making skills big time, if nothing else. That is what college does for you, and it makes you appreciate your parents.
Sure does.
Yes.
Plug for the old folks.
Good to know.
Yeah. You don't really know how little you needed to be stressed out in college until you get done. You go, really?
Yeah.
I was stressed out about that. I mean, my kids, we have dark humor at our house, largely because of my job. Say, Dad, how was your day? And I'll say, I don't think anybody died today. And that's a good day, for me. If you had to say that in at college, nobody died today. Like, wow, I get to go to work where somebody can just drop dead every single day. And then a lot of what I do is cancer. So, and luckily, we're pretty good at it nowadays. Everybody does pretty good. Everybody does really well. So I'm kind of, the way I approach everybody is, you're gonna be fine. It's gonna suck for a little while, but you're gonna be okay. But the reality is that the other parts of life is that, no one, my dad used to say, no one's ever on their deathbed and wish they had stressed out some more.
Right.
So man, or conversely, what I tell my kids is think an hour into your future. Kind of think, okay, an hour from now, what's this hour going to mean? So yeah, have fun over Thanksgiving. Don't stress. Work, make grades, build your resume. Doesn't matter. You will, if you're not a jerk, and I have this feeling that you guys are not jerks, call it a hunch. You all right?
Good.
Promising.
Very.
Okay.
All right.
I think
Thank you so much.
Sure. All right. Deal.